everybody, it's me, Tokkuri Yashi. Today we are here to look at our latest character release, which is Iroha. And we're also going to have a slightly more detailed look than we usually do at what is coming up over the next week, or what is possibly coming up over the next week, because there has been a few clues dropped which might suggest a few things. So let's jump in and have a look at Iroha's banner first, and we can talk about what we think is coming up in the next week or so. So here we have Iroha's banner, and first of all we can see she is a permanent character. And that does mean if you don't summon for her here, hope to get her in the future, it's over a 1 in 100 chance now that it will be Iroha if you get a 3-star on your multi-summon. However, they are seemingly returning permanent characters now on limited banner, so there might be the opportunity to get her in the future. The second thing is the dates of the banner. This banner is going away on the 27th of June. So what do we expect to be coming after Iroha's banner has gone away? Well, first of all, if we have a look at what happened last year, this time slot last year, we can see in between the pre-fest that we're expecting at the end of the month and this Summer Returns banner that we have up at the moment, the only difference this year is we've got Winter Cheru on it as well. We had a New Year's Returns banner squished in there. Last year it was the 26th to the 30th. Well, they can still certainly do this from the 27th to the 30th with New Year's Hatsune and Kasumi on it. Now this year we're probably going to get the Siren, New Year's Siren, and maybe Medusa added to that banner, and then we are going into a pre-fest after that. We have, however, been told that Misora, pre-fest Misora, will be getting a unique equipment 1, which then might suggest that this pre-fest banner is actually going to be a Misora rate up return and not a new pre-fest character. So we see it's scheduled to be the 22nd of June when this unique equipment comes in. So the banner is not going to be dropping them, because if we have a look what happened with Little Lyrical when they got their unique equipment in October, the unique equipment was added into the game on the 23rd, and then their returns banner was the 28th, and that's 5 days difference. So if we look 5 days from the 22nd is the 27th, so there is a possibility then, instead of getting that New Year's return, we saw a pre-fest on the 27th. There's no way that they're going to do 2 pre-fests back to back, is there? That would be a pretty low move if we did get a new pre-fest as well as a Misora return back to back. So I don't think that's what's going to happen. So either we're getting Misora return on the 27th and then going straight into the summer units on the 30th, or we'll be getting a New Year's returns banner just to squeeze in, and then Misora pre-fest most likely on the 30th. So that all being said, let's go in and have a look at Iroha then. All of that to consider whether you actually want to spend your jewels on Iroha or whether you want to be saving for what's coming up in the future. Thing is though, we will know probably on the 25th there's a radio, another pre-con radio that will probably give us all these answers and tell us exactly what is coming up. Will probably give us a preview of the first summer characters for July. So here we go, let's have a look at this skill then for Iroha. You can see here she is an attacker character. She's given the attacker role, a light character, physical, and she sits in the mid-ground there. So position 501, right in between the other 2 newest light physical characters that we've recently got, Georgiana Tsumugi and the pilot Aoi. And if we have a look at her loop pattern down here at the bottom, she has a special skill which she fires off as her first action. Then it's skill 1, and the loop pattern, pretty good. Well, it's skill 2 and then 3 skill 1s. So the skill 1 being used a lot more than the skill 2 in this loop pattern. So what does Iroha do then? Let's take a look at her skills. So first of all, we should probably have a look at this special skill, as it is the first action that she does when she enters battle. And this special skill nullifies all disable effects until the end of battle. This is a 180-second skill, and that means that she will be immune to any kind of crowd control, stunning, etc, etc. So if there's a boss that does try to stun your opponent, do other things like that, she will be immune to it and be able to keep dealing damage whilst other characters might be paralysed or immobilised just for a few seconds. On top of that, she gains 1 sword pressure, token, which, to be honest with you, I think is a bit pointless. Because we can see there is a maximum of 10, and we'll see why it's pointless in a minute. But she also reduces her own physical damage and physical crit damage by 20%. Now this only lasts for 20 seconds, so at the first 20 seconds of the fight, she will be a little bit nerfed on her attack power, a little bit weaker than she is. This is one of those characters that definitely builds up as the fight goes along. A bit of a trend with this alchemy guild, seemingly that the characters are a lot better the last 30 seconds of the fight than they are the first minute. So we'll go backwards today. We'll have a look at the skill 2 first, and this is why getting that one sword pressure on that special skill is a little bit pointless, because as we can see here, it maxes out at 10 and you gain 2 sword pressure every time you do this skill 2, so you're still going to have to do 5 of these skill 2s to get that maximum of 10. As we can see there in the loop pan, this skill 2 is only 1 in every 4 actions. Like we said, she'll probably get 10 of these tokens around 30 seconds left. So the first minute of the fight, she'll not have the extra she gets from it, and in the last 30 seconds, she will go crazy. So 2 sword pressure from this skill 2. She will also greatly boost her own physical attack and slightly boost her own physical crit damage here. Now, as we can see here, that's a decent buff there, 13,818, 16% physical crit damage. These two are permanent, 180 seconds. Though again, stacking throughout the battle when she does this skill 2. And she will also increase her own action speed. It's a 50% action speed buff, and again, this is at 180 seconds. Permanent buff on her action speed. So if you have Labarista on the team giving you the 200, every time she does this, she's getting an extra 50%. It will stack on top of that. So by the end of the fight, her action speed buff will be quite high. I mean, if you've done it 5 times, that's another 250. So we've got a 450% action speed buff by the last 30 seconds or so. Sounds pretty good. This is pretty speedy. This Iroha is speed. So there we go, that is the skill 2. Let's go backwards then. We'll have a look at the skill 1 next then. As we can see here, this skill 1 here deals 3 instances of physical damage to an enemy character in front of you. It's 2.3 times the physical attack. And if we get to having 10 sword pressure tokens, then the physical damage that these attacks will do will then ignore a certain amount of physical defense. It remains at 2.3 times the physical attack, but then we're ignoring 50 defense on top of that. So, like I said, like other alchemy girls, like Sono and Louise Marie to a degree, she really starts to fire off the last 30 seconds of the fight when she has got these 10 sword pressure tokens activated and gets these extra pieces of her passive skills. It does also say on this skill 1 that she adds an additional physical attack with the 10 sword pressure tokens, which is at 4.6 times physical attack, ignoring 50 defense. So this skill 1 will become a 4 instant attack once she gets all 10 of these sword pressure tokens. So finally then a union base. I think this is where the sword pressures really kick in. As we can see here, this union base deals again 3 instances of physical damage to one enemy character in front of you, ignoring 50 physical defense. It's 5 times physical attack, ignoring 50 defense. Now I will say, even though it's a triple instance attack here, she's not going to be that good against multiple target opponents, unlike, say, the Sumomaho and Misora, because their attacks hit random nodes, random positions, or with Misora it's 1, 2, 3. With Iroha, all of these attacks are going to be aimed at the closest enemy target or the closest node on the boss if it's a multiple target boss. So she really is only single targets here. But being a multiple instance attacker, that gives other advantages. It means that physical attack buffs that she gained will be multiplied, because instead of it being added to 1 attack, it is now added to 3. And she'll also be better with the physical defense down, etc, etc. So it will help with that, and also with the log barrier. We've got the log barrier with the damage cap. If you've got 1 attack, you hit the log barrier, that's that. You've now got 3 attacks here that we can get to the log barrier 3 times. So there is a chance that her own personal damage will be a lot higher because she can get to the log barrier 3 times with these 3 individual attacks. Anyway, the first time she does this union burst, when she has 10 sword pressure, which will probably be, like I said, 30 seconds left, she will deal 3 additional physical damage attacks to the character in front of you and ignoring the physical defense then. So then she becomes a 6 instance attack here. This is 6 instance attack, which sounds absolutely crazy, but that's only from the last 30 seconds of the fight. So what I've seen here is, with this Iroha, the first minute, say if in the first minute, if she did 100 million damage, the last 30 seconds she'll then do 200 million damage. So her damage is doubled in the last 30 seconds than what it was in the first minute. So there we go. That is Iroha, a very simple character, really, opposite kind of to the 6-star Kaya. Where Kaya comes out and does her first union burst, which is maximum damage, and then calms down a bit. Iroha is the opposite. She kind of builds up, and then the last 30 seconds on that one union burst there, she does a huge giga attack. So just quickly then, do we want to be summoning for Iroha? Well, Iroha's main competition on this light physical team here is this little lyrical trio. They were or are the best single time DPS for a light physical team at the moment. It does look like Iroha's damage is very slightly higher than the lyrical trio, and she would certainly work better against bosses or opponents that use this crowd control on them. They could always fiddle with bosses to make them fit Iroha a little bit better than the lyrical trio, but on the whole, if you're not in a, say, top clan, or you're not fighting for a new bracket in clan battle, you'll probably be perfectly fine getting away with little lyrical trio if you have her. On top of that, the team's probably going to consist of Pilot Aoi, the GOG Henna Samugi, which I don't have. So it might be a little bit difficult to build this team if you don't have all of these. You can only borrow one of them. If you don't have Samugi and Iroha like me, then building that team might be a little difficult. You might have to borrow the Samugi and the little lyrical trio. Now Samugi, again, here, attack support, the main attack support is only for one character. So if you had the little lyrical and Iroha on the same team, only one of them will be getting the extra attack from Samugi. So again, are we really going to be running them both together? I don't know. The other character I just wanted to quickly mention, she's very similar to Canon. Very similar to Canon, the character we've just had, a big DPS character. People seem to think that this Canon was a little bit mid. Thing is, this Canon I would say is a lot better than Iroha. The one thing that Iroha cannot do is tank. She's pretty squishy. This Canon, potentially in a lot of scenarios, could actually tank for you, where that means she's giving you a little bit of extra value, because then you won't have to bring a dedicated tank character, and she's doing a lot of damage in that respect. So if you thought Canon was pretty mid and underwhelming, then you should really have the same opinion of Iroha. So there we go. Basically, just a big time, multiple instance DPS character here. Probably one of the easiest skips we've had for now, unless you are a big fan of Iroha, especially coming up on summer units. And we're still a little bit of uncertainty with the Prefest in the air. If that Prefest is a returns banner, that might be a sigh of relief for a lot of characters. Another banner that we're not going to have to summon on to save a few jewels. So let me know with Iroha if you get a summon for it. Good luck to you. Let me know how it went. I'm Tokkuri Yashi. Thank you very much for watching. See you all again for another video. Bye 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 bye. Hey.